And well, as Israelis and Palestinians mourn the death and fearfully await news of those who are missing, the tendency to look for someone to blame is impossible for many to resist. While Israelis and their supporters are pinning all the blame on Hamas, several Arab nations are expressing their support for Palestine and for Gaza. And amid the blame game over the Gaza hospital attack, the US citizens traveling abroad have now been urged to exercise increased caution. The State Department, in a new advisory, has warned American nationals living overseas to stay alert in locations frequented by tourists.
We are constantly assessing the safety and security of our personnel in every place where we operate overseas. We are constantly assessing the safety of the situation on the ground so we can give appropriate travel warnings and appropriate guidance to American citizens.
The advisory comes 2 days after the hospital attack in Gaza, and since then thousands of people continue rallying in countries across West Asia to protest against the strike, calling it a day of rage. People in Lebanon, Jordan, Yemen, Iraq took to the streets to denounce what's happened and express their solidarity with Palestinians. And apart from solidarity, support from West Asia, the United States has also authorized diplomats to lower flags to half-mast in a bid to mark respect for the loss of innocent lives in Gaza. The U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, in a cable to American diplomats, instructed that if the host government's call for mourning express regret over Hamas deaths, support for terrorism, or condemn Israel, the U.S. mission may still lower the flag but will put out a statement that it is only being done to mourn the loss of innocent lives. Meanwhile, in Iran, the Imam Reza Mosque also hoisted a black flag to mark the mourning period amid the Israel-Hamas conflict. The mosque in question holds great significance to the Shia Muslim community, as it is believed to be the burial place for Imam Ali, the first Imam of the Shia Islam. The black flag denotes a solemn expression of grief, mourning and solidarity. And as the war unfolds, Syria and Iran have become bitter enemies of US and Israel and could play deciding roles in the current crisis. So if Tehran launches Hezbollah in a full-scale attack across the border from its strongholds in southern Lebanon or through the Golan Heights, Israel will find itself caught in a two-front war. This might well pose an existential threat, forcing the US to intervene in a new and very direct way. Hence, the big question remains to be answered is, what role will America play in this war? And for more on this, our correspondent Jody Cohen sent us this ground report from Israel. Listen in.
A new poll in Israel has suggested that 80% of Israelis believe Prime Minister Netanyahu must publicly take responsibility for the intelligence and security failures on the 7th of October. Remember, that was the day that thousands of Hamas terrorists infiltrated into Israel, killing 1,400 civilians and taking more than 200 people hostage into Gaza. Mostly Israelis, but also it's thought people from approximately 40 countries around the world. The head of the Israel Defense Forces, Shin Bet Security Service, Defense Minister and Finance Minister have already taken responsibility publicly. Now, I spoke with former Prime Minister Yair Lapid, who affirms that while he will not join the emergency unity government that is now running the country, including former Defense Minister Benny Gantz, who had been an opposition party head, Lapid said he is working with the government from the outside to focus on the priority right now, which is dismantling Hamas. However, his party MP Elazar Stern has criticised Lapid, saying his party must join the wartime government. This is Jody Cohen for WION World is One.